What is going on, everybody, and welcome back. We're here on the free-to-play account, the free-to-play account, the road to max rank. There we go. And we are going to look at, Cyborg Tao's Super Strike event that got renewed, and he got an Awakening and an Easy A, which is really, really good. For Extreme Earthlings and Extreme, DB characters in general, there's tons of characters that still need to be represented in the game properly, and their variants as well, right? And Mercenary Tao is one of them, right? He's one of the bigger villains in DB in original Dragon Ball Saga, dude, back then he's a menace, bro. It's been a long time since I've seen Dragon Ball, original Dragon Ball, but man, maybe I should rewatch it or rewatch like a recount of it. It wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Anyway, let's go over the missions. He's already done. He's just ready to be worked on. So as soon as we go over missions, we're gonna go over his kit, and then we're gonna go over how I personally going to build them and give recommendations, right, and stuff like that. So over the missions. So the category you have to use this time around is worthy rivals. An entire team filled with worthy rivals. So there's a bunch of Vegetas, right? There's some Piccolos and stuff like that in here. But in order to beat this event the easiest way, just run a really good Vegeta team mixed with, right? Because they just obliterate this stage like if it's absolutely nothing. And you also have to do it within 10 turns, which is very gracious. Before some Super Strikes are like 5, which is very annoying. But 10 is basically given to you, right? So super easy to get this Super Strike done. For the specific character you must bring, it is TN, just TN. So Super Strike TN, the World Tournament TN, and the LR Prime Battle TN works. And the new banner TN also works for this stage as well. You just have to bring them and complete the stage with them. It doesn't matter what kind of team you bring. You just need to bring TN. The best variant of them is the new one that just came out. The second best would be the LR, and then the third best would be the Super Strike. But it's super easy to get this mission done. You don't even have to. You just have to do another extra run, but it's not the biggest thing in the world. So it's super easy. But those are the 3 specific missions to get it done within 3 full completions of the stage in order to get all the medals necessary without having to do anything extra. And then obviously everything else is just grinding extra medals and copies and stuff like that. So very, very exciting. So let's go over his details, and we are already in the hidden potential screen. So let's go over his full kit, then I'll give my opinions on him. So Cyborg Tao, his leader skill, STR and AGL 3 key, all stats 70%. Passive skill is key +1, attack and defense 100%. And then it's great chance of an additional key +1 and attack and defense 100%. And then when there is a Turtle School category enemy, launches an additional super attack, and if key is 9 or more, plus an additional attack and defense 50%. Plus an additional and then it's plus an additional 50% attack and a high chance of performing a crit when the target enemy is stunned or the target enemy super attack is sealed. So super battle road, stuff like that, it's all good. But crazy end game content, maybe not so much. You're not really gonna get that part off all that well, but nonetheless, super attack effect is greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn, causes supreme damage with a high chance of stunning the enemy. And he can launch a 9-key super, which is really, really good. His links are Crane School, Supreme Warrior, Coward, Bombardment, Revival, Super Strike, Shattering the Limit. Categories are Earthlings, Sworn Enemies, Siblings Bond, World Tournament, Earthbred Fighters, Resurrected Warriors, and Revenge. His best linking partner is himself in the form of his LR counterpart from the World Tournament, Mercenary Tao. They share 4 out of 7 links, which is Crane School, Supreme Warrior, Coward, and Shattering the Limit. And then his second best is obviously Super Strike units and stuff like that. But his second best is the Fizz Mecha Frieza. They share Bombardment, Revival, Super Strike, and Shattering the Limit. And after that, dude, it's kind of like it falls down, right? It's like a bunch of 2s and 1s, and you know what I mean? Not 1s, but like 3s and 2s and stuff like that. There's a lot of that, right? The Super Strike units will all have 3 out of the 7 links together, which is the Super Strike and Bombardment and Revival links, for the most part, right? Or no, Shattering the Limit. Shattering the Limit is a thing that they all share. But Super Strike, Bombardment, and Shattering the Limit. But nonetheless, eventually I feel as though we will get a Dokkan Fest Mercenary Tao. It almost needs to happen, right? Like a Dokkan Fest Mercenary Tao. Mercenary Tao was a very big villain within the original DB. Like a whole bunch of that, like Rebel and Army stuff from the original Dragon Ball, all needs to be properly represented in Dokkan. All that needs to. It's not the craziest, hypest thing in the world for a lot of people for whatever reason. But there are a lot of fights in there that are cool as hell, man. And the original story of Dragon Ball is a very good story for sure. All that needs to get proper representation, and eventually it will, right? Whether or not it's within this calendar year from making this video, I don't know, but I anticipate within the next year or two, we're going to get proper representation in some way, shape, or form for the extreme characters of DB, especially with the introduction of Piccolo Jr. Demon King Piccolo is right around the corner. Like a proper Dokkan Fest Demon King Piccolo is right around the corner. And then all his minions and all this other stuff. And then like even before, right, like Officer Black and all this stuff, like all of them need to be in the game in some way, shape, or form. I truly believe that all that's going to happen. So how would I personally build this guy? So there's two ways to build him. Kind of the obvious one and kind of the very safe route is either full dodge sub additionals or full additional sub dodge. It's kind of a very good combination, right? They both go hand in hand very well. I'm giving Cyborg Tao full dodge is not a bad thing because he's a damaging character. He doesn't support, he doesn't do anything else, but he can stun and do damage. That's it. And then he gives himself a high chance to crit based upon a stunned or sealed enemy, right? But there's a lot of attack given in multiple different places. All of it is very specific, right? But he's a damaging character is what he is, right? So how would I build him to kind of make him the best version of himself? The safest way is to just give him full dodge and then sub additionals, right? Because he greatly raises attack and defense for one turn. So you want to give him additionals. So it's either additionals and crit or additionals and dodge and however variant you want to be, right? Personally, I feel like I give dodge to a lot of characters and I kind of want to give a lot of power to this guy, right? So I'm going to go full additionals, and sub crit with, I'm not going to give him full additionals and sub crit is exactly how I'm going to build him. Sure, he gives himself a high chance to crit. That's a very specific requirement that may not happen in like a lot of the end game. And sure, for Super Battle Road, he'll be useful and stuff like that. But I feel as though kind of prioritizing his best qualities is an attack potency. Sure, it's not a Dokkan Fest. Sure, he's not an LR. Sure, he's not the craziest in the forms of stats or anything like that. But he is a free-to-play unit that's extremely easy to get, genuinely, right? So I would argue that you should build him with full power to kind of give him the best, for him to look as the most impressive as possible. Because you can give 30 dodge to any character, and that 30 dodge can carry any character as far as it can carry them, right? Even if their kit has nothing for dodge. You know what I mean? But giving a character full additional with full crit or whatever, I feel like it is a very good way to build Cyborg Tao, right? But let me know what you think. Will I ever use Cyborg Tao? Well, yeah, I have to use them. All those categories I'm gonna have to do free-to-play runs with and no item runs with. So this guy is going to be useful when that happens. Will I regret not having dodge on him then? We'll see. But I'm gonna stick to my guns and say I'll be fine, right? But this time around, we're actually going to give him one of these because I'm never going to give that to anybody else. So I kind of 50-50 him in the crit and additional department. So let's go ahead and click the confirm. Bum, 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 bum. So he is full additional and full crit. Almost 20-20 apiece. If my clips were a little bit better, I could have easily done that. But nonetheless, this guy is going to be, hopefully he hits really hard. I kind of want to throw him on a team and see how he is. But I need a link level and all that stuff. And I'm also working on a second copy of him for his TUR. And his TUR, his SR copy. So I can, his UR copy. So I can have all the versions of him from the Super Strike. That way I can use them in any you know, chain battle and stuff like that, especially because I have a good amount of orbs, right? So, but with that being said, guys, I do appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. Let me know how you built Cyborg Tao. Are you excited whether or not he might get a Dokkan Festival representation in the future? He is kind of whatever, right? I can't sit here and say that he's fantastic because he's genuinely not. He's a very basic unit. He would have been better if he was a support for DB Saga, right? If he supported DB Saga, right, or Earthlings, right, he could have supported Earthlings or Earthbred fighters, like 2 key, 20%, right, and he would have been better, right? If he stacked defense, he would have been better. Or if he guaranteed crit, could have give him dodge instead of crit, right? But he's an STR unit, so he's gonna give himself crit anyways. Like there was a lot of different ways they could have done Cyborg Tao, but they did it, right? I feel like all these Super Strike units should be a sub support for any of the category for the type of categories that he's in, right? But you know, it is what it is. But I'm out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys think of Cyborg Tao in the comments below. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace. Take care.